they made them idols that they may be cut off. Thy calf, O Samaria, have cast thee off. What calf? Remember that stuff I told you put on the shelf? Okay, you can bring it down now. Thy calf, O Samaria, has cast thee off. My anger is kindled against them. How long will it be ere they attain the innocency? This word ere is lo. It means not. They will not attain to innocency. They will not be innocent. Because of those idols they done set up in their lives. They won't be innocent. Verse 6 says, from Israel was it also the workmen made it. Speaking of the silver and gold idols. Therefore, it is not Elohim. The calf of Samaria is not Elohim. You got it? Yes. But the calf shall be broken in pieces. Now, it's important to note that the calves that Jeroboam made were made like unto the calf that Aaron made. Yeah. Now, I'm going to read about the calf that Aaron made. Well, let's have my next reader read about the calf that Aaron made.
And when the people saw that Moshe delayed to come down out of the mount, and the people gathered themselves unto Aaron and said unto him, up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moshe, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, Mitzrayim, we want not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people break off their golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them to Aaron, and received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graven tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Mitzrayim. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to Yahuwah.
All right. Now remember that thing that you just took off the shelf? Yep. I want you to take it and compare it to this. Didn't I just say these exact same words? These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt? Did it not say that Jeroboam proclaimed a feast to Yahuwah? He proclaimed a feast?
Yes.
Rather?
Yes.
Well, what he was doing was imitating or repeating what Aaron had done. See, now, this is real important to get. Because even though these idols were set up contrary to the will of Yahuwah, they were not necessarily intended to be considered something opposed to Yahuwah. For the people, they would have never went for that. They just came out of Egypt. They just seen what this mighty El can do. Amen? Amen. So you wasn't about to put no other El over them. No, that wasn't about to happen. This is not what they were doing. This is not what they intended to do, rather. It was the result of what they done, but it was not the intent. Rather, these cows were set up to be the image of Elohim to the people.
Yes.
You see, bovine, they have been revered since the beginning of time. They were revered for their provision, the milk and the meat that they gave to the people, their strength, their help, as in plowing the fields, their peace and serenity, their calmness, as well as fire. They were considered to be a big source of fire from their dung. They used to burn their dung for fire. and fertility, because they also used their dung for fertilizer. And they were symbols, and in that sense, they became symbols for the greatest of deities, even Baal and Ishtar. You know, but the number one thing that I want you to catch is verse 5. For Aaron said, tomorrow is a feast to who?
To Yahuwah.
To Yahuwah. Said, these are the gods which brought thee up out of the land of Mizraim.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys really catching what's going on here. So, we're going to put it on the table. What's happening here is that they've made these images, these calves. They made these images to portray an image of Elohim. The people in worshiping these images actually thought they were worshiping Yahuwah,
Yes. Yes.
Elohim.
Yes.
See, they were deceived.
Yes.
They were thinking that they were actually worshiping Yahuwah, the guys that brought them up out of the land of Mizraim. Very much in the same way that many people think they are worshiping Yahuwah now today.
Yeah.
But they are still worshiping idols.
Yeah.
They are still going against the will of the Most High El. They are still being cast off from Yahuwah for these sins. You know, when you partake of these pagan practices, they cut you off from Elohim. This is the whole reason they was getting evicted out of the land to begin with. This is why Yah told them to destroy all the inhabitants of the land, that this would not happen to them. But soon as they get over there, here it is, Jeroboam set this thing back up. See, but the people think that they are worshiping Yah.
Yes.
They're looking to these calves as images of Yah. They knew the name of their El, but they never seen him. So the king and like Aaron, they gave him an image. They gave him something that they could see, something that they could feel, something that they can rub on and get good luck from. Hello, somebody. You have to understand this, see, because this is exactly what's transpired, what has transpired today in Christianity. This is exactly what happened. They think they're serving Yah, but they're actually serving pagan deities. See, because you can't serve Yah on your terms.
That's right.
You have to serve him on his terms.
That's right.
You can't do it your way. It's only his way. See, so when they say, you know, hey, happy Ishtar. Oh, I'm sorry, Easter. You know, they don't realize what they're doing, but that's like, you know, Ishtar and Baal, Christmas and Easter is just like the calves in Bethel and in Dan.
Yes. Yes.
These are the two main idols or idolatries of Christianity. And neither one of them have anything to do with Yah.
No.
Just as these calves had nothing to do with Yah. The people have been deceived, just as they're deceived into these things. See, but old traditions die hard.
Yes.
And that's what we're facing now today. They were saying, no doubt, I wasn't there, but there's no doubt in my heart that they were saying the same thing people are saying today. Man, my mama kept Christmas. Mama's mama kept Christmas. My mama's mama kept Christmas. Now you want to tell me not to keep Christmas? Nothing wrong with Christmas. You got presents when you was a kid. Amen? They were saying the same thing about these calves. And take heed where they were set up, because that's prophetic. Bethel. They were set up in the house of Elohim. That's the church. Come on, somebody. You got to be able to see this, because this is imperative. They were set up in the church and in the judge. That means the rulers and the church itself. The two very things that people go to for direction. That's why y'all said they had become like an oven. Because when they go to them for direction, all they get is that fire. That lust for idolatry, malice, wickedness, hypocrisy, and doctrines of men. That consumes them. That's real big. That's what was going on then, and that's what's going on now. You know, it's not just about, the calves. It's about the deception. They viewed them calves as Yahuwah Elohim. Just as much as these people view, these pagan practices that's interwoven into Judaism and Christianity as being of Yahuwah Elohim. It's time out. It's time out for all that. We have to get back to the unleavened bread. That is the word of Elohim with sincerity and in truth. That is the unleavened bread. And we have to get all that leaven out of the houses. We got to get that malice, that wickedness, that hypocrisy, the doctrines of men. All that stuff have to come out. Those traditions, we got to get them out. We need to clean the houses out. I know unleavened bread is over with, but we still got to clean the house. And we have to keep it clean. Because I'm going to tell you, it's always some lurking around. There's always some lurking around. There's always some trying to sneak in. See, the thing about leaven, I don't know if you know this or not, but you don't have to put no yeast into no dough for it to leaven. It'll leaven just from the air. All you got to do is just keep kneading it. And it'll begin to rise on its own. You just keep kneading your brother or sister. You just keep on, flattering them and seeing if their head don't rise. I'm telling you. Verse 7 says, "For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. It hath no stalk, the bud shall yield no meal. If so be it yield, the stranger shall swallow it up. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein there is no pleasure." You do not want to be a vessel wherein there is no pleasure. Do you know what they used to do with vessels wherein there was no pleasure? They used to use them for toilets. That's what they did. That's the truth. That's what they did with the vessels wherein there was no pleasure. The undesirable vessels. They got used as toilets. You don't want to be used as a toilet, I'm sure. Amen? Amen. Verse 9, "For they are gone up to Assyria, a wild ass alone by himself. Ephraim hath hired lovers. Yea, though they have hired among the nations, now will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes. Because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin, altars shall be unto them to sin. Woo.
Wow.
What Yah is saying is that they made altars to sin. They put these altars and they burnt sin offerings upon them throughout the land. This was before Yah put his name at his house over in Jerusalem. When they came through the land, you'll read about they made an altar unto Yah.
Yeah.
And they burnt sacrifices on them altars. Well, as the years progressed, the people continued to go to those very same altars, the ones that Abraham built, the ones that Isaac built, the ones that Jacob built, and the ones that the children of Israel built when they first came through the land. They would return to those altars, and they would offer sacrifices on them. See, but after Yah had placed his name in a place within the land and commanded them to no longer go to those altars, but to go to the altar where he has placed his name, then they were no more allowed to do that. But that didn't stop them. See, because when that sin of Jeroboam, of Nabat, when he set that up, they began to once again use those altars. Because he didn't want them going back to Yahudah, where Yah had placed his name. He didn't want them going back to Jerusalem. So he set up high places throughout the land that they could go there and offer their sacrifices. See, so those same altars that once helped cleanse them of their sins has now become the sin itself. Sin for them itself.